In this video, I want to give you one quick tip on how you can make tomorrow a better day, even if you hate your job. A lot of people can relate to this. You wake up Monday morning and you're feeling the Monday blues because you got to go back to work and a job that you do not particularly like. Here's a quick tip that you can make not only a job that you don't like more enjoyable and less of a stressor and less of a trigger, but just life in general. And that is simply this. Number one, be consciously aware of your thinking. We have somewhere between 60,000 and 90,000 thoughts per day, and they kind of flow into our minds at various intervals and by various circumstances. And then what we do, we also think about those thoughts. We ruminate on these thoughts. So with your job, if that's the example, think about your thinking. Even try and do an objective assessment of your own thinking process, of the language that you're using, and try to do this. Try to become more aware of how you're perceiving your reality. Because in theory, there could be someone at that same job, that same desk, or that same position that really enjoys their job. Or even they may not enjoy that much, but the job or the circumstance of the job does not trigger them as much. It doesn't ruin their life. It doesn't ruin their dinner laid down with their family. So the first step is simply to become consciously aware of what you're thinking. And once you are aware of your thinking, you may notice that there's a pattern. There's a habitual pattern that has been going on in your mind. You've been ruminating on certain thoughts for days, maybe weeks, maybe years. And the more you think this way, the stronger that pattern, the habitual thinking process is going to become. And if you are in a negative state, in a not joyful state, a stressful state, most of the time, because of your circumstances, in all likelihood, that is going to spill over and that's going to come out in your day-to-day interactions with family, your friends, and even within your own thinking, your own mind, and the membranes of your brain. You're going to feel these not so happy thoughts. So the first step is just simply to be consciously aware of your thinking. And the second step is to try to control your thinking. I'm not saying you can control your thoughts, because I think they come sometimes, we don't know in exactly where or when, but they just pop into our minds. But you're trying to control your thinking. And you can even try to change the internal narrative that you're using about your job, this position, and use a different language and try to subjectively change your lens, change how you view your job. Instead of saying, I can't stand this job, it could be something like, I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that I have food on the table. I'm grateful that I can pay bills. I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that there's no pains. I'm grateful that this job does not control me. I'm grateful that I'm strong in this job. I'm grateful that my mind, my being, my character, my identity, my essence is not defined by this job. And I'm going to rise above it. And yes, in the beginning, this is probably very difficult or maybe challenging, depending on your makeup and how emotionally attached or triggered you are by this position. But what you're also going to do is to write certain reminders. It could be simply if you have a desk or on your phone, on your just somewhere visually. Just write a reminder. And it could be what you want to believe. Because your reality is created by your perception of it. Because your reality may be someone's reality as well, but their perception is totally different. And what's going on in their minds, in their essence, in their character, maybe in their soul is different because of their perception. We have been given the ability to control our thinking. Like we can decide what to think about thoughts. We can decide what to think about circumstances. We can decide what to think about most of our circumstances. And yes, it does require practice. I'm working on it as well. But if you can simply try and be, number one, conscious of your thoughts, and number two, to really try to take captive, to try to take control of your thinking and flip the script and think what you want to think. And now you're telling your mind to look for these things. It's going to look for what you told it to look for. So whatever you want to think, feel, experiencing, tell your mind to look for it and see if next Monday may be a little bit better than the previous one.